Miller, Keisha Miller, and siblings Dexter and Ashley, along with his nephew Gerald. Give it up for Reggie Miller. Next we have number 20,
Coy Osland. I gotta make sure I say that right. You're watching the Southland Conference on ESPN. Final day of the regular season in Abilene, Texas today. And this matchup between the Incarnate Word Cardinals and the Abilene Christian Wildcats. And welcome inside the studio, everybody. Zach Carlisle along with Owen Simpson, Coy Osland coming up as well. March basketball is here. A lot on the line, a lot of seeding and positioning to get to as we move into the conference tournament next week.
Yeah, Abilene Christian really fighting near the top of the Southland Conference standings. A lot still in play. A win doesn't guarantee anything for them today. But one thing is for sure, they will be in the top three when the tournament starts.
There you go. ACU coming off of a huge win Wednesday against Stephen F. Austin on the road. And a 20-win club, the only one in the Southland Conference to claim 20 wins so far this season. Incarnate Word right now in the 7 spot. They can't move up, but they could move down depending on some outcomes today. So a big game as well for the Cardinals.
Again, a lot of it comes down to seeding for Incarnate Word. You obviously want to win to not only just go in with the right momentum, but also figure out some situational factors about who you'll take on in that first matchup.
How about impact players? Interesting note, by the way, for these impact players. Keiston Willis for Incarnate Word, not in the starting lineup today. They may be without their leading scorer.
And a big factor, never say the less to it. Keiston Willis, without a doubt, one of the biggest impacts out on the court for Incarnate Word. Looking at the other side, Colton Cole also received extended minutes against Stephen F. Austin, a little more than he typically sees in a game. I'd like to see where his stamina is this weekend.
Yeah, Colton Cole, big-time player for ACU. Incarnate Word, some injuries. ACU, some injuries. We got a lot to get to on Senior Day. The tip-off from Abilene is coming up after this. Back in Abilene. So we get ready to go between ACU and UIW. Here today inside the Teague Special Events Center. They got the lights off and the spotlight on as they announce the starting lineups out there for this matchup. Senior Day. How about this starting five? Reggie Miller, Makai Morris, no Corian Mason today for Abilene Christian. Joe Pleasant, Colton Cole, and the difference, Paul Hippler gets the start, the senior from California.
Yeah, Corian Mason, Coach Joe Golding for ACU leaving him out today. They want him to stay rested and be ready to go for the Southland Conference tournament next week. So certainly an impact for the Wildcats, but also looking at the other side too, a banged up Incarnate Word.
Yeah, we don't see guys like Brandon Swaby. We don't see guys like Marcus Larson. And we don't see Keiston Willis in that lineup. A banged up Incarnate Word team on the final day of the regular season. We're glad to have you with us on ESPN Plus. And away we go here on this first Saturday in March. And ACU will control the opening tip, and they go to Paul Hippler, who's going to take the three. And Colton Cole is there for the rebound, the put back, no, and then he draws the foul. ACU trying to create some early fireworks there for the outside.
And Paul Hippler getting his first start of his career and getting a chance to get some fireworks going, as you mentioned, for the Wildcats early on. But Colton Cole, the 7-footer, such a dangerous threat inside.
Yeah, leads the team in scoring at 12 per game. Coming off of a double-digit effort in the win, and he had the buzzer beater against Stephen F. Austin on Wednesday. Literally in the final tenths of a second, was able to win it at the gun for ACU 63-61. Here's Des Ballantyne with Reggie Miller defending. And boy, I am curious what UIW looks like without the second leading scorer in the Southland Conference in Keiston Willis. Extra pass. And an early three that clanks off no good. Off and running. Here in Abilene, and ACU goes back into the paint. That three was no good from Logan Bracamonte, by the way. Here is head coach Dr. Carson Cunningham of Incarnate Word. Third season with the Cardinals. Colton Cole into paint. Early 4 points for the big fella.
And the fifth-year senior ready to go already, just a minute in to his final home game of his career.
Pass from Drew Lutz out, and that three is offline, no good. And ACU goes right back to Cole on senior day. There's Makai Morris with that offensive rebound. Back to Cole again, short. And the rebound hauled in by Des Ballantyne, and here come the Cardinals. Here's the UIW team. It's coming off of 4 consecutive losses, trying to find some sense going into the tournament next week. Right now would be the 7 seed. The drive and the foul, Bradley Akile will head to the line for UIW. And this Cardinal team that averages about 68 points per game, and ACU only gives up around 61 per game. Joe Golding, 10th-year head coach of ACU, won the Coach of the Year in the Southland 2 seasons ago. His squad dealing with players out as well, including a couple of their leading scorers.
And these are definitely some banged-up teams as we near the end of the regular season. Looking at the positive side, though, both of these teams will have some time to rest and get ready for some postseason play in the Southland Conference Tournament next week.
So after those free throws from Akile, it is Makai Morris who will launch one. And there's Cole crashing in to try to get a rebound, and off it goes to the Cardinals. Yeah, you can't speak enough about the fact that you got 2 teams battling with injuries and trying to get healthy. ACU trying to play and earn their way into a top 2 seed. They would not have to play till next Friday. It would give them all kinds of time to get healthy.
And they're going to need a little bit of help, too, with Sam Houston. They have to lose to Stephen F. Austin later tonight for that to be possible.
Bracamonte no good on the 3. He's 0 for 2 from the outside. Joe Pleasant, boy, he's actually been a pretty good 3-point shooter his last couple of games. He hit 4 of them against Central Arkansas a week ago in what was a very surprising loss for Abilene Christian. In the paint, Gigi Izidima is going to go to the line after the foul.
And early on in this game, Incarnate Word needs to assert itself inside the paint if they want to stay competitive with this Abilene Christian team. They had a closely contested matchup on their home court, but protecting the ball is going to have to be careful. An important factor as well for Incarnate Word. They have to limit the turnovers because Abilene does a great job. Abilene Christian does a great job at forcing turnovers, especially on their home court.
Chance to try to tie the game early on. From Izidima, and we are squared away at 4 early on. Arion Simmons, number 3 into the game for ACU. Tobias Cameron, number 11 out there as well. Simmons will pop a 3. Izidima with the board, and Cardinals may try to run a little bit, but boy, they're going up against a really stingy defense. Akile couldn't get the roll. Joe Pleasant traveled. ACU turns it over. The Wildcats had a season high 23 turnovers Wednesday at Stephen F. Austin.
And the Wildcats are really small right now with Reggie Miller and Damian Daniels at the guard, and then Colton Cole also out right now. a good opportunity for the Cardinals.
Josh Morgan, number 13, into the game. UIW is really going to have the test of wills and the test of their bench today with all the injuries. And a foul on ACU. I believe it's on Damian Daniels. Low scoring start with the players that are out. You figure advantage ACU in terms of depth, but this could be one of those lower scoring games because of that today.
And again, it's going to be about the defense first, I think, for both of these teams today. So what a block right there. And I think that really is evidence right there of where this game's going to be. Bodies all over the floor. It's going to be hard to buy a bucket on both sides. I really believe that.
I think there's a foul after all of this.
Are you sure?
Bradley Akile is going to get called for it for UIW.
Really physical teams that we're getting the chance to watch here at the end of the regular season.
They played in a good one in the last Saturday in January. 75-67, ACU won that game down in San Antonio. Tend to shoot it. Tobias Cameron and now Reggie Miller. Good ball movement here. 5 seconds and Joe Pleasant traveled again. First time out of the game, just 4 points for each side early. Two banged up teams on this Saturday. In Abilene, Texas today, this final game of the craziest basketball season we've ever had. 2020-21 season, just unlike anything we've ever seen before.
Was that me?
And of course, we're going to wrap it up with two teams that are just decimated with injuries and heading into the tournament, limping to the finish line, if you will. And Incarnate Word's going to take a three, and I think it was Bracamonte who missed that in the corner. But you got a couple of teams that can't score it right now. A little bit of a scoring drought for both sides.
Yeah, Incarnate Word still trying to find that first field goal, starting 0 for 6. But Abilene Christian not much better, just 1 of 8 to get started. You wonder, that one person who's going to get started, whether it's ACU or Incarnate Word, they could really create something special. They get some shots to fall because the other team can't seem to find a bucket.
Bradley Akile returning to the Cardinal lineup. Tobias Cameron pulls the trigger. Gets the game's first three-pointer.
And the Wildcats have been able to swing the ball really well from beyond the perimeter. The shots just haven't been falling, but Cameron gets them going there.
Oh, and then Cameron gets that rebound and he gets pushed down.
And take a look at that one more time. Simmons to Miller, and then right up at the top of the key with Tobias Cameron. And he has brought in some really crucial minutes. Head coach Golding for ACU has really praised his effort throughout all of the injuries that the Wildcats have faced this season. He's stepped up when they needed him the most.
Redshirt junior from New Zealand. Colton Cole contacted. Mid-range game, no good. Going to see a lot of Drew Lutz today, you figure. The sophomore number 3 from Indiana. Good basketball state. Produces a lot of talent. Pretty good assist man. Des Ballantyne, special player as well. That is a long 2, and it looks like they will review that at some point. I think they're going to mark it a 3, actually. But the referee gave the signal to check it out at the next dead ball. Put back Cameron after the miss from Daniels. And Cameron is fouled and off. He goes to the free throw line.
And there's the effort. A 6'5" player coming in and showing off some elevation there to get the offensive board. And a chance at 2 free throws here.
Almost 6 minutes into this game, ACU struggled from that foul line Wednesday. They are taking a look to see if this is a 3 or a 2 for Des Ballantyne. I don't know if that's going to give us the best angle, but they were looking at it. Maybe they weren't now, but Cameron at the line hits free throw. And they're going to stick with a 2-pointer. So they're going to say that Ballantyne's foot was on the line, so that review is over. And Cameron hits a pair, 5 early points for the Kiwi, they call him, down there from New Zealand. Got a lot of stoppages early on. 8-6 ACU. Now Joe Golding chatting with the official. I think we're going to get back to action. And here we are.
There we go.
A lot to sort out. And here is Des Ballantyne once again. It was a long 2 that they did look at, review, confirm for UIW, possession to go. Mid-range jumper, Izadinma, no good. Rebound tracked down by Charlie Yoder, the freshman from Indiana. Oh, and Ballantyne got bumped. They may have gotten the freshman Logan McLaughlin for Abilene Christian on that foul. Joe Pleasant back in the Wildcat lineup.
And they're bringing back that size now inside with Colton Cole and Joe Pleasant out there. Incarnate Word's going to need to find some answers inside. And additionally outside the perimeter too if they want to find some scoring.
Ballantyne posting up. Then the fadeaway. Well, he's only 6 feet tall. It's not necessarily the guy to post up, but they may have some guys doing some different roles today than they're used to with all the injuries and guys out of the lineup. Makai Morris rise and fire. Oh, he was blocked away, and it's a turnover first to travel on Morris.
That's already 3 travels we'll be seeing right off of a pass, just taking that step too early. Just some simple mistakes early here for the Wildcats.
You ready for this? The teams are a combined 14% shooting. 11% for UIW and 18% for ACU. Turnover. Logan McLaughlin lobs for Pleasant. Oh, he missed it. Oh my goodness, and now Daniels is fouled, and boy, we talk about having a hard time putting the ball in the rim. The dunks aren't even going.
I think that just summarizes the first 7 minutes of basketball here in Abilene, Texas. No one can buy a bucket, and the shooting percentage speaks for itself.
So here is Damian Daniels, who is not 100% himself. The junior from Kansas City. This is more of the sickness variety than it has been of injury. He is trying to get back to normal. Reggie Miller returning to the ACU lineup. Safe to say a slow offensive start this afternoon.
And that's something to expect, especially with so many injuries plaguing both teams. The scoring's going to come in different ways, and it takes a little while to get adjusted.
Loose ball, Izadinma got it back out somehow to Akile. And did that get altered by Colton Cole? I believe it did. McLaughlin, extra step out there, hits it from the outside, the freshman. Just called him a pure scorer in high school. ACU defending wonderfully on Ballantyne at the hoop. Makai Morris, he hits one.
Great ball movement.
Third 3 for Abilene Christian, and all of a sudden, they pushed it out to a 10-point lead. That's McLaughlin. Nyla.
The Wildcats have several injuries. Corian Mason is out with an ankle injury. Clay Gaiman is under concussion protocol after the game versus Sam Houston. And Damian Daniels has been battling a non-COVID related illness all week. For Incarnate Word, they've been dealing with several injuries too for their starters.
Coy, thank you very much. And yeah, injuries for both sides. And guys out of the lineup, new guys in the lineup. It's senior day. It's the final day of the season. So much going on. When you talk about guys battling injuries, Corian Mason's dealt with a couple of different problems this year for Abilene Christian. He was out 3 games earlier this year with a concussion and an ankle problem as well. That pass picked off by Makai Morris. All of a sudden, ACU is on a 9-0 run over the last 2.5 minutes, and a foul in the interior. They're going to get Thomas Zevgeris for the hook on Colton Cole. Well, we talked about it coming in. The depth, no question, will favor ACU. They've been as deep as a team really across the country all season long.
Yeah, you talk about just the way they started the season. For a good portion of time, not a single player was averaging points scored in double figures. And to this day, it really still has been very well spread out. You're talking about your leading scorer averaging 12 with Colton Cole. You have a couple players with 10, and then down the stretch, there are players putting up considerable numbers, but also this ability just to spread out the basketball in the scoring column has been impressive.
Drew Lutz, the lefty, got one. That mid-range game, and that ends an 11-0 Abilene Christian run.
And just before that, too, Incarnate Word 1 for 10 to start the game. It's a much-needed bucket.
McLaughlin's hit one already, and that one well off the mark. Cardinals try to run, but look at that defense from Makai Morris. Pleasant is open, and all of a sudden, Abilene Christian has 4 3-pointers.
The Wildcats are starting to catch fire on offense. Incarnate Word now needs a response. A lot of turnovers to start this first half.
Lutz trying to create. Josh Morgan. Zevgeris had it stolen away. This ACU defense has really been off to a great start, forcing the 6th UIW turnover. Pleasant then fouls after the miss.
Just a little too aggressive there from Pleasant. But there's been a lot of success on offense in the past few possessions for the Wildcats right there. I tell you, Joe Pleasant has been dominant inside this season, but as of recently, that 3-pointer has become more and more valuable.
Unreal how good he's been from the outside. He hit a huge one against Sam Houston late. Hit 4 of them against Central Arkansas as well.
Yeah, you want to talk about the last 4 games. 7 3-pointers for the big man.
How about that? In the corner, it's Josh Morgan, and that's a huge shot for UIW to get just something going on offense.
If they can't get stops on defense, they have to keep pace on offense. 3-pointer does it there.
Daniels tried to answer with one. Lutz unable to finish. Now these teams trying to run up and down the floor. Cameron, confident shoot 3-point shot, but offline. Morgan rebounds, and that's nearly stolen by Miller. Top 20 in the country in steals this year, Reggie Miller. Damian Daniels in the top 40 as well in the nation. We talk about all year long when we do these ACU home games that this defense definitely will give them a chance down there in the conference tournament. And if they only have to win a couple of times in 2 days, Abilene Christian, to me, would be one of the favorites down there.
Without a doubt. You talk about the way they've closed off the season. Now, that Central Arkansas loss did expose some weaknesses. If they can't protect the ball, there's going to be some concerns. But again, they've been reliant on that defense all season long.
Daniels got baseline. ACU with some nice passing on the possession. And a 12-point lead. The spin. Oh, it rattled out for Derek Van Vlera. Back to Joe Pleasant. Looking for his first 2-point field goal, and it drops down.
With the double team as well. You see the help defense come there right as they dish it inside, but no matter. Nice pump fake.
Yeah, how about Akile? UIW goes inside. Wildcats respond by going back to Simmons. Miller for 3. Daniels had an open look too, and he passed it up. Morgan. Those shots inside are so contested every single time down.
I tell you, that was great defense by Reggie Miller, keeping his hands up, his body not leaning in. He tries to get a shot there, but that one gets rejected.
Denied by Logan Bracamonte. Pleasant got this to go somehow.
Want to welcome all of you here and all of you watching online on this great day in Abilene Christian University history.
I want to invite you officially to join the Southland Conference on July 1, 2013. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
As exciting as the overall prospect of going Division I was for all of the many reasons, the first thing you think about if you're a sports fan, you think basketball.
To make a jump like this to the highest level of collegiate athletics, there is a lot of excitement in this community.
Away from Mason, it'll count if it goes, it's good! It's good! Mason buries the three-pointer!
Anytime you're trying to build something, you got to get the players in place first, and you got to change the locker room and the culture. And I mean, we've got a bunch of high-character kids and play the way we're supposed to play. The wins will come.
As excited as we were for all sports, everybody was thinking, maybe one day, March Madness, could it be? Yes! They can feel it all over ACU Nation.
How about when two teams make the NCAA tournament for the first time in program history in the same season? First Dance debuted March the 1st earlier this week and available at youtube.com/ACU. Speaking of ACU, Wildcats in front 25-13. An important game for the Wildcats. They want to win this one, and if they do so, they'll still have a chance at a top 2 seed at the conference tournament next week.
And just to give more clarification on how important that really is, it's a 10-team bracket this year. The top 2 seeds only have to play 2 games to get to the championship game. That second game, you win that, you're in the NCAA tournament as an automatic qualifier. You get that 3 seed, you have to play that extra game to make it all the way. So again, the seeding is so important down this stretch. ACU can get the win, and Sam Houston lose to Stephen F. Austin. They clinch up that 2 seed.
Well, that'll be later on today, the Lumberjacks and the Bearcats in Huntsville. So a big one there. And then UIW on the other side trying to ensure a top 7 spot as well. 5 p.m. tip about an hour away on ESPN Plus between SFA and Sam Houston. Lutz picked his dribble up. Here's the fake. Yoder got it. Cameron Steele, the freshman from Minnesota, number 5 into the game. Arion Simmons goes to work in the paint for Abilene Christian, and he missed it short. And Bracamonte with a rebound.
Good defense by Incarnate Word. Tough shot for Simmons.
Interior lob. A little bit of a smaller Abilene Christian lineup and a foul on the paint. Charlie Yoder trying to go up through. And we'll see which smaller lineup can win the battles here. It's Yoder going to the line.
Yeah, you talk about the tallest guy right now out on that Wildcat court for ACU is Cameron Steele at just 6'8", and then you've got Arion Simmons and Makai Morris at 6'5", so definitely a smaller size Wildcat 5.
Well, you think about this. Charlie Yoder has only played in now his 6th game of the year. Before their game against New Orleans on Monday, he had only played in 51 total minutes, and he played in 37 of those against New Orleans. How about that move? Reggie Miller.
He gets his own miss and then makes the connection at the basket. What a move.
So Yoder's minutes have definitely increased here lately for UIW. And now with all the injuries, they really are going to have to rely on some different folks. There's Drew Lutz from downtown.
And despite the Wildcat defense moving all over, great passing, which sets up the three-point shot.
UIW 2 for 6 from distance. Here's Steele. Miller missed a 3 earlier. Simmons, baseline. Cardinals on a little bit of a run here, trying to cut it within a couple of possessions, and a pass too wide from Lutz. Looking for Yoder.
And talk about a big opportunity there to get it within a 2-possession game. And they can't do it. And then the subs come in now for the Wildcats. A golden opportunity.
And they go big with Colton Cole. Cole finds a wide open Tobias Cameron.
I think that was on Yoder. He was trying to get the help defense against Colton Cole, leaving Tobias Cameron wide open.
McLaughlin defending Lutz. Drew Lutz. Oh, he couldn't get it. That's a great effort. Cole with the board. Miller decides to go back to Simmons instead of taking the 3. And it's an assist for Miller, who came into today with 102 on the season. Simmons the recipient. And the lead is back to 11 for Abilene Christian. Corner 3, UIW. Here's Yoder again, who scored 12 of his total 17 points on the season in that game against New Orleans. Colton Cole, boy, he is getting smacked around in there, but he got it to go.
Who says a 7-footer can't get pushed around a little bit?
Ball deflected. Oh, it's a turnover. It's going to Abilene Christian. When we come back, we'll take a look at the bracket that's leading into this final day of the regular season. Take a look at the Southland tournament bracket. This is coming into today. Nichols, regular season champions, trying to lock up that 1 seed. Sam Houston. ACU currently to 3. There's UIW there, who would be exempted to the second round as the 6th seed, trying to hold on to it. Remember, with no Stephen F. Austin down there in Katy, that is what we would be seeing down there in Katy, and a lot to be decided on this final day of the regular season. The first Saturday in March. Logan McLaughlin spots up. Oh, it's the tip-in and one from Tobias Cameron. He's making an impact today.
And that's the second time we've seen Tobias Cameron crash to the board off of a miss. He got to the free throw line last time, made 2 of them. Well, this time, he has a chance for an and one.
He has a game high in points with 10 after that free throw. Redshirt junior. Now backcourt pressure from Abilene Christian. A 16-point game. Oh my goodness. Akile tried to destroy the basketball through the net. But he couldn't come up with it. I thought they were going to get Cameron open again. Oh, there he is. That right wing. Oh,
man.
Cole, how did he do that? He just took the ball out of the sky and laid it back in.
It looked like he palmed it with one hand and took it up on his own.
I think he absorbed it.
That's one way to put it, without a doubt.
Goodness. Now transition. Oh, McLaughlin, did he not catch it there straight away? UIW will try to run. Morgan for three. That's good. The Cardinals will just try to hang around in this thing, but we talked about it during the timeout. When they don't have their go-to guy, that really changes everything.
Yeah, Keaston Willis not being present on the court just hurts them so much, especially on the offensive side. Turnovers have been a problem too.
Here's a turnover.
I'll take a look at this one more time. This is off of the miss.
Cool.
One hand, easy, no problem, right?
Just, my goodness. Just like a sponge. I mean, he just absorbed that thing into his body and was able to put it right back in there. It's all-time high confidence from Cole is really what Joe Golding has said. And it's just the easiest basketball of his career, basically. And he has grown so much, and he's really taken off as a redshirt senior. Foul off the ball. Or was it on that potential screen, and Steele came up to try to hedge it. So after Cole was called for an offensive foul, Steele called for the defensive foul, and this is bonus free throws. 1-1 for Izidinma. UIW this season 70% at the foul line, 5th best in the Southland Conference. Izidinma 77% himself, and he misses the back half of the 1-1.
And just the first miss at the free throw line for Incarnate Word today. Both teams taking advantage at the charity stripe.
Cameron Steele from distance.
And the freshmen are starting to light up the three-point line for the Wildcats today. Another nice shot there from Incarnate Word to answer right back.
Izidinma got a tough one to go.
That was just the 5th three-pointer made of the season for Cameron Steele.
Makai Morris at shooting practice for the Wildcats right now.
And that's something for the Wildcats that's become more and more valuable throughout the season is the three-point shot. They struggled early in conference play, but have really found their rhythm heading into March.
1 minute left in the first half. Valentine, fade away. Wow, bottom. What a shot.
And Valentine's had the turnover bug today with 4 of them, but a nice shot there. Give him some confidence back.
Cameron, he's got double-digit first half points. 8 to shoot it. Pleasant, 3 seconds. Get it off in time, and it's an air ball. And UIW is going to try to run here. Yoder got it. And ACU with 10 seconds. Try to get off a shot. Daniels, floater, no good. And that takes us to the end of the first half. Abilene Christian 44, Incarnate Word 30. Halftime coming up.
4 seconds, 3 seconds. Miller to the rim, floats it, and putback is good at the buzzer. Colton Cole, he got it. There are zeros on the clock. If it stands, it's a road win at the buzzer from Colton Cole.
Well, that was Wednesday night in Nacogdoches, Texas, as ACU won that thing 63-61. Speaking of Colton Cole, ACU TV's Emily Schaefer had a chance to sit down with the big fella from Abilene Christian. Colton Cole, a hammer inside.
I just want to talk about what surprised you about your team specifically this season compared to the seasons in the past.
We're just trying to make a name for ACU. We did 2 years ago at the March Madness, and I think this year we're on our own journey. And I think the people who didn't get to experience this year, and I think that's a huge key in leadership. So I think that's what we look forward to.
This team seems to genuinely love one another. How does that translate on the court during your games?
I think that just plays in our strength. We know what everyone's capable of. We know what they can do. We've seen it in practice. And when it comes to game time, we kind of just trust each other, and we know that's what they've been doing their whole lives.
After every game, you seem to always have some sort of food in your hands. Is that some sort of reward?
So we don't eat. We eat hour after practice. So we don't really have any food until our games last about 2.5 hours. So Coach Decker always brings us snacks during halftime, and no one usually eats them because they're always focused on the game. And after the game, they kind of just whatever they don't eat, I pick up because I'm not going to pass up free food. So that's kind of what I go to.
This is kind of a random question, but your girlfriend actually also plays volleyball here at ACU. What is it like for you to be on the same schedule as her? You're both busy. How do y'all make that work?
It's just easy to click because we both have busy schedules. She got to come work out early. I understand, but I think the biggest thing is just support. Sometimes I got to respect not being able to see her, because she's tired. She had a good workout. So it's just being able to bond together and just know that we're on the same page.
You're a leader on the court, that's for sure. But how does that translate into your life off the court?
Yeah, so I know that basketball it's going to come to an end. So I think having that competitive mindset in the working field, it'll pay off. Being competitive, always wanting to be better, strive for greatness. So I think just learning from the competitiveness to work into a business aspect is just working and getting better.
How has Coach Golding's coaching style helped you as a player?
He's more of an inside-out coach. I know a lot of college basketball is all about the shooting the three and getting the point guards involved, but he really enjoys the bigs, working with the bigs, and he thinks our offense is really great inside out. When they collapse, you just kick it out to the extra man and they just hit shots. So I think that's just his coaching style.
We're always seeing y'all dancing and having fun after games in the locker room. What is it like for you to be so close with your teammates that you can have that kind of fun with them?
I think it's all credit to the staff. They really love us. They take us in more than just players, as people, as a child of God. I think Coach always told us, winning college basketball is not easy. So we celebrate every win, and I think everyone looks forward to that after win post-game dance.
Abilene, Texas, on the first Saturday in March. Important hoops. ACU up 44-30 at the half over UIW. Halftime here on ESPN. Welcome into the studio, everybody. Zach Carlisle along with Owen Simpson. Glad to have you with us. A lot more offense than I anticipated there. The way the game started, I didn't think we'd see 74 first half points, but ACU leads it by 14.
Yeah, for the Wildcats, it was really the three-point shot that came in valuable in the first half, coming off the reserves. A lot of freshmen getting involved in the scoring, and then for Incarnate Word, I think that's what impresses me even more. They start off 1 for 8 shooting, and they finish 40% in the first half.
Yeah, it was pretty fun to watch, to be honest. As you take a look at our halftime leaders, Colton Cole doing his thing inside. How about Tobias Cameron dropping in 10 points in the first half? And then Charlie Yoder, who hasn't played a lot this year, he leads the way for Incarnate Word.
And he's having to step up with a lot of players being out for Incarnate Word. And looking at the other side, Tobias Cameron also doing that. He's only 4 points away from matching his career high that he set earlier this year. And Colton Cole obviously is going to find a way to score. He's also done a lot of it at the free throw line today.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it a few times, but a lot of injuries and a lot of players dealing with everything. As we take a look at the tournament bracket, this was coming into today. Nichols, number 1. They won the Southland regular season on Thursday night with their win. Sam Houston trying to hang on to that 2 seed. ACU could try to move into a potential top 2 seed. They need a win, and they need Stephen F. Austin to beat Sam Houston tonight.
And the only 2 things that have locked in this tournament bracket as of today, Northwestern locking up the 4 spot, getting that last double bye of the tournament, and then also New Orleans locking up the 5 spot with Northwestern State's win. But yeah, you mentioned that Sam Houston-Abilene Christian matchup and how this could affect getting to the semifinals, to start in the semifinals. So important for teams to only have to play 2 consecutive days as compared to 3 to come out with a Southland Conference title. So important down the stretch.
Yeah, because as important as your regular season is, and as much as you want to build up a resume going in to the regular season, I mean, everyone in their life needs a Colton Cole fathead. Is all I know right there.
That's
great.
great.
See that. But as important as it is, it all comes down to what happens next week in Katy, because the winner is the automatic qualifier in the NCAA tournament, and no one else will go from the Southland Conference. It's a 1-bid league. And off we go with the second half. And Incarnate Word, who got going a little bit on offense there later on, they're without their leading scorer and the second leading scorer in the conference in Keaston Willis. But they start the second half with a turnover.
Yeah, they finished the first half 4 for 4. Started moving offensively. Let's see if they can continue that here in the second half.
There's Daniels bouncing it. Oh, got through the arms of Cole there to turnover. And a push and a foul the other direction. Drew Lutz hit the deck into the UIW bench, that socially distanced bench we've seen all season long. I mean, despite the fact that this team's down by 14, I was impressed at how they learned some adjustments. Lutz for 3, no good. Without Willis, without Swaby, without Marcus Larson out there. They've had a lot, and they scored 30 first half points. I think you'll take it.
And I think, again, we saw that at the beginning of the game where it was hard to get some rhythm for both teams because of these injuries, as we had to see a 3 there from Damian Daniels. Both teams had to adjust to the circumstances they had. Once they got comfortable, then the scoring started to come into shape.
Daniels came in. He was battling illness this week. Does Ballantyne fadeaway no good? Oh, and then Miller lost it. He had a few turnovers early on in that game against Stephen F. Austin. Then ACU started to figure it out a little bit more after that. That ball's loose and out of bounds it goes. So a few early turnovers on both teams to start the second half. ACU the only points so far from that Daniels 3. And an offensive foul on Colton Cole. An illegal screen to give Miller some space. And another turnover.
And that's personal foul number 3 for Colton Cole.
In his home gym on senior day. Izidima in the paint, now out for a corner three, and just not close from, I think, Akile. It was Bradley Akile, no good. Pleasant in the paint. Back to Pleasant, and he was fouled. Reach over, trying to poke it free, and it's on Bradley Akile, the junior from Houston.
This is a great opportunity for the Wildcats to see what they do with a lead like this. You go back to that loss to Central Arkansas that they faced. They led by as many as 15 points, let it slip away near the end. So another similar opportunity here. How do they not only maintain but also extend the lead in the second half?
I tell you, Incarnate Word is going to exceed expectations. A team that was picked 12th out of 13 this year in the Southland. Chance to finish maybe even as high as 6. More than likely 7th. Daniels lining up another 3. That one no good. Izidima for 3. UIW is 3 for 11 from downtown. ACU 7 of 21. Daniels got it, baseline. He's got all 5 points of the second half.
And nice positioning there with Colton Cole, giving him a little bit of extra room inside to dish it inside for an easy layup.
Eight to shoot for Ballantyne. Akile in the corner, that long 2 this time. First points of the second half for the Cardinals.
And a much needed answer too, starting to struggle again those first few minutes.
Lob it, Cole, one arms it, and he's gonna shoot 2. 10 points in the first half for Cole. On 3 for 7, but he was at the foul line 4 times. It went 4 for 4.
You talk about Colton Cole, and they're going to have to rely on him a lot more down this stretch. The value of having a 7-footer in the tournament. He averages only about 19 minutes per game. He's been going over that number much more often as of recently.
And without being able to switch it out for a guy like Clay Gaiman, who has been out of the lineup with a concussion last few games, they do believe he'll be ready for that tournament next week. Just that extra depth at the post position. But Cole makes the free throws. He's got 12. Leaves the game. Ballantyne, no good. Arion Simmons tapped out that rebound. Here's Simmons. Now Daniels. What great passing from ACU, and it is Joe Pleasant, and an and 1 for the big guy. He'll have a free throw when we come back to Abilene, Texas. Abilene Christian opening up a 21-point lead. They're off to a 9-2 start to the second half. We take you through the Teague Center. You know, this was originally an indoor tennis court, and it is transformed into the home of basketball and volleyball this year, and for probably into the future as well, for at least a little while for ACU. Great work by the university to get it all set up. Deputy Director of Athletics Drew Long and the crew. And they were checking on a 2 or a 3, and it turns out they must have added a point to that total because it's a 54-32 game now. And a foul on this end on Abilene Christian, and free throws are on the way. after that foul on Arion Simmons. Bradley Akile, the junior from Houston, transfer from Gillette College. Came off the bench the last 6 games, but was kind of forced into the starting lineup today because of all of the troubles with the lineup and the players and the injuries and all of that. Had only been in 19 total minutes in the last 4 games, but they need a lot of Akile today. Be curious how that injuries affect UIW next week. The men's tournament starts a day late, or a day earlier rather. Joe Pleasant for 3.
Yeah,
you have the women's tournament.
Yeah, you have to wonder again how severe these injuries are that have really depleted an Incarnate Word starting 5, just and the implications that could play. Maybe being without them for the first game in Katy.
Because if, I mean, you know, that tournament, if they finish as a 7, 8, 9, or 10 seed, they'll play Tuesday. That's a quick turnaround, and that's a big 3 there. Nice looking shot for the Cardinals from Kenyon Holcomb, the freshman from Houston. We got a lot of lefties on the floor. Lutz and Holcomb, Miller and Daniels for Abilene Christian. I'm going to point out lefties every chance I get.
Well, of course.
Pleasant, no good.
Not a lot of lefties left.
I know, I'm telling you. Especially in basketball. I feel like you don't see them at all in basketball.
Well, you can't forget about who is it? Tennessee, starting 5 this year, all
5.
lefties. How about that?
Crazy. And Abilene Christian typically starts 3 when Corian Mason's in the lineup. You figure that's a lot. Valentine, no good. But all of a sudden, a 21-point lead for ACU. Simmons backing down. And I was thinking about just how good the Wildcats have been at home this year. Here's Lutz for 3, another lefty. But I was thinking about how good ACU's been at home, and it's kind of, I mean, they've played good teams too. SFA, Sam Houston, and even those resulted in double-digit points for a margin of victory. And they have a chance to close out an undefeated home schedule this year. I'm amazed at how good they've been on their home floor.
Yeah, you have to argue that Abilene Christian, obviously a great team in the Southland Conference, but just a phenomenal turn of events at home here. A new home court and all these new circumstances, but they've done a great job here.
Chance to have the first undefeated season at home since the Wildcats moved up to Division I in 2013. Simmons, oh, he got it back somehow. Turned and scored. You know, and you mentioned that loss to Central Arkansas that Abilene Christian had as well. And really it was that defense that let them down in that game because the offense played very, very well. 82 points for ACU that day. And so now if this offense for ACU can find some ways to score it, they become very, very dangerous down there. They lead it by 20, and that is a second 3 from Holcomb.
And there's those 3-pointers getting them back in this game, trying to compete and stay pace with Abilene Christian.
Kenyon Holcomb came in 0 for 3 on the season from 3-point range. He's hit 2 of them here in the second half. Pleasant one-on-one, draws the double, and Miller connects on a 3.
And there's the response. If the Wildcats can continue to match Incarnate Word, it's going to be tough for the Cardinals to get back in this game. Their defense just hasn't been able to do much here in the second half.
Backdoor pass out to Akile, and he buries one. It is an absolute 3-point party right now in the Teague Center.
UIW 7 for 15 shooting from beyond the arc. How about that?
ACU's hit 9 of them. See if they keep launching them up here. Here is Simmons. He'll go off glass. That's a smooth little kiss. $15 to shoot it for Ballantyne. Who's that off of? It's off of Miller. It'll stay with Incarnate Word. Timeout on the floor. ACU leads by 19.
For years, I trained to be the best linebacker on the field. That drive made me a top performer at the NFL Combine, and I played 5 seasons in the NFL. Now I'm working toward another dream, building my own business, training athletes to help improve their performance. I want to be the best businessman I can, so I'm getting my MBA at ACU.
Get your degree online at acu.edu.
This is Scott Deeser, CEO of First Financial Bank, a bank that has been safe, sound, and secure since 1890. We've been through so many different economic situations, but keep getting stronger. In these times, we are keeping our doors open so that you can keep yours open. We encourage you to use our enhanced motor banks, ATMs, and state-of-the-art mobile app. We're here to put you first because First Financial Bank is Texas strong.
Member FDIC.
Look behind the curtain. ACU TV studios. This crew behind the scenes, we've been putting together these broadcasts all season long. We've been in the studio instead of courtside. It's been a blast to put it together. Another peek at the live crew running the show here in Abilene, Texas all season long. So we're not courtside, but Coy Ostlund is courtside. Let's send it over to Coy.
Yes. Yeah, Zach, it is senior day here in Abilene. The Wildcats are honoring 5 seniors today. These players include Corian Mason, Colton Cole, Makai Morris, Paul Hippler, and Reggie Miller. Cole and Hippler were both members of ACU's Southland Conference Championship team, but all things aside, these 5 seniors have left a lasting impact on this program that will not be forgotten.
Coy, thank you very much. You're right, yeah. Senior day around college basketball, such a fun time, and no question, even in a weird year, as that goes out of bounds off of Abilene Christian, even in a weird year where they have the chance to come back, you know, as kind of a free year with COVID-19 and everything, but some of them still won't, you know, around the country. You're going to have seniors that do graduate, they'll have their degrees, they won't want to worry about all of that. Fala Makai Morris. And no question at ACU, these seniors have left a big positive mark on this program. 3 consecutive 20-win seasons for the Wildcats. That's never been done in the history of the 100-year program.
And you mentioned that some seniors across the country are going to come back for another season. Well, it's not just the seniors that this will affect too, but every other classification, freshmen, sophomores, juniors, they'll have an extra year. And that'll bring into question is, will they complete another 4 years, or will they be leaving early? It should be an interesting next few years because of the pandemic, of what this will do to college sports.
Lutz looking inside, and the shot clock winding down for Incarnate Word. They'll be able to talk about a play. They'll have just 4 seconds to shoot it when we come back. Back in Abilene, Texas, with ACU on their way to their 21st victory and what would be a 13-2 mark in the Southland Conference, can finish as high as a 2 seed in the upcoming tournament. Nichols wins the regular season. Sam Houston, a viable chance as a top 3 seed as well. And then Northwestern State's going to be the 4 seed, despite the fact that Stephen F. Austin would have been there. The Lumberjacks ineligible for the postseason. So you figure those are your top 4. You figure with the way it sets up that those 4 have the best chance down there next week in Katy.
And I tell you, not to discredit Northwestern State whatsoever, because they're a great basketball team, but Stephen F. Austin, if you bring that crew in addition to Sam, Abilene Christian, and Nichols, I tell you, that would be an exciting Final Four in the Southland Conference. Some great teams.
ACU all on the defensive end, and Steele. It almost popped out, but it's able to go down for the freshman.
Cameron Steele was about to get a yell from the coach if he missed the open dunk. We've already seen one miss earlier in the first half.
Watch this.
Let's take a look one more time. Reggie Miller with the deflection. Makai Morris up to Steele, and wow, talk about a friendly roll on the drive-away dunk.
I thought he was going to go up with just the one hand for it, and then he kind of pulled that second one on there, and maybe the angle of the rim was able to help put that ball in the hoop. Timeout Incarnate Word in this 21-point game, 8:53 to go in the ball game here in the Teague Center. And speaking of the Teague Center, we talked about it briefly, but this was supposed to be, and it is, for indoor tennis. And the idea came when the Moody Coliseum renovations took place to then transform this into an indoor basketball and volleyball court. And I'm amazed at the job they did.
Yeah, it's going to be an amazing sight to see of the renovated Moody Coliseum a year or so away from now. Still unsure about the exact time, but it was an impressive sight to see putting this together. You would have never known if you came here for the first time that this has been used as a tennis court for the past many years.
You see that halftime score, Lamar on McNeese. Goodness, 17 first half points for the Cowboys. I mean, basically a play-in game now for the conference tournament.
Yeah, it really is. Winner gets a bid to Katy. The loser, that's it for the season. So you see the importance of that game. Lamar striking early.
Yeah, trying to clinch a spot. There was still today 2 spots available for clinching purposes down there in Katy. The only team that had been eliminated was Texas A&M Corpus Christi. We'll talk about being decimated by injuries and COVID-19 was that Corpus team, and so they can't get in, but Houston Baptist can, and that tip-off comes in about 10 minutes time down there in Houston between the Islanders and the Huskies. Big game for HBU on the final day of the regular season. Still so much to be decided. Steele back to work in the paint, goes off the glass. So Cam Steele comes in, he's hit a 3, he's got a dunk, and he's got a nice move inside.
And using that pivot foot to his advantage inside the paint. Nice take by the freshman.
Baseline Cole, got it. He took it away from Charlie Yoder. McLaughlin in transition, punched it back out. And it is Steele. Cole got the rebound of the putback.
And Colton Cole cleaning up as usual throughout this game. He does it right there. He's up to 14 points.
Ballantyne. A corner 3 that rims out. And I believe that was Holcomb again. I didn't get a great look at it, but takes us to a timeout on the floor in Abilene. So it's currently an 8-0 run for ACU. So we approach 7 minutes to go tonight. 8 minutes from tip-off in Huntsville, SFA Sam Houston. A big one for, in particular, those 2 fan bases, but also the ACU fan bases, as the Wildcats will try for a top 2 seed. If SFA wins that game, ACU would be the 2 seed next week. If Sam Houston wins it, they'll lock up that triple round bye with the new format. Shot clock buzzer almost, and air ball, and McLaughlin got the rebound, and ACU in front by 25 on their home floor. Pleasant kicks it out. Cameron, he sticks it for 3.
And that's the selfless basketball. Logan McLaughlin, he's open, but somebody else is even more open. Tobias Cameron in the corner, 13 points. What a performance.
Yoder working on Cameron. Yeah, 1 shy. As he gets the steal, it's 1 shy of his career total. McLaughlin. It's kept alive. And he gets it back to the freshman. Gets it to go at a stoppage because of an injury, it appeared, for UIW. But Logan McLaughlin gives ACU its largest lead at 30 points tonight.
And take a look, the opportunity to go 5-on-4. McLaughlin with the open shot, won't get it to fall. He struggled to connect, but he gets a nice layup here. No resistance.
As they tend to the injured Cardinal. Reason they're playing here in the Teague Center, Moody Coliseum, the typical home for the Wildcats, being renovated. And they want it to look like this, the renderings for the brand new Moody Coliseum here on ACU's campus. Completion date to be determined, but that's going to be the inside of this brand new facility here on this beautiful campus.
And one of the oldest buildings on Abilene Christian's campus, definitely in need of a renovation. They've gone through a few changes over the past few years, but this is a multi-million-dollar project. Can't wait to see the final project and see some fans and see Wildcats and other Western Athletic Conference opponents taking shape in there in a year or so.
That move to the WAC begins July 1st for ACU. They'll go with Lamar and SFA and Sam Houston. Central Arkansas leaving the Southland there, heading to the Atlantic Sun. For the basketball tournament to be played in Katy next week. Been the highlight of the weekend to figure it out. Drew Lutz for 2. UIW with a loss today would drop to 5-9, and they would stay at their 17 points. So depending on other outcomes, could stay at the 7. Could drop to as low as 9th. Simmons pops a 3.
And Simmons with the high arc shot. We've seen it multiple times this year. Sometimes he banks it in as well.
Yeah.
He's done it a few occasions. But certainly a valuable trait to have for a big man.
Morgan gonna commit and draw a foul. This thing was a rainbow.
And even our camera crew can't get the scale of how high that shot is.
Did it hit the ceiling? This thing was way up there for a long time. Simmons has 9 points for Abilene Christian. Morgan drives baseline. So the Cardinals will be playing on day 1 next week, which is in this case Tuesday. Technical foul on Dr. Carson Cunningham of UIW. And Cunningham is not happy with that call. Giving him a technical foul.
And it must have been something he said to one of the officials, and sometimes emotions get high in these situations. Nothing's going your way, and tough way to end the regular season.
And Paul Hippler is at the foul line, senior from California. And his second free throw good as well, so he hits the 2. Tex on senior day. Hollywood at the line.
An efficient 7 for 8 at the free throw line this season. Doesn't see a whole lot of minutes, but getting that extended time and taking advantage of it.
Got the start today, senior day as well. So now after the foul was previously on Damian Daniels. Then the technical foul allowed Hippler to hit the 2. So now we go back to the free throws here. It was 1 and 1 for Drew Lutz, sophomore from Indiana. Hits those 2 free throws, but it's still right now an 18-4 run in 5.5 minutes for Abilene Christian. They've hit 80 points. Offensive foul, it's going the other way.
And that one on Richardson inside. With a little bit of a push and an elbow. Trying to create a little bit of space there. Just too aggressive.
So ACU in 5 consecutive games before Wednesday had scored at least 80. They scored at 82, 88, 83, 86, and 82. They went 4 and 1 in that stretch. McLaughlin, no good on the 3. The season high in conference play, I believe, is 93 against Central Arkansas. That's a 3 from Lutz. They scored, 93 is the season high in league play on January the 23rd against Central Arkansas. Simmons. It's not as cool if you don't bank it in. Now we're starting to just trade the long jump shots here as we're in the final 4 minutes to go tonight, 3.5 minutes to go. Jamison Richardson had it stripped and stolen. Morgan for 3, that's good.
That's one thing for sure. We've seen a lot of 23-pointers combined in this game.
Gotta love it when guys are hitting from the outside. Richardson, bottoms up. Oh my. Another one for Abilene Christian, their 12th.
And just his second made 3 of the season.
We got the final 2 minutes and 42 seconds on the way in Abilene. Christian on their way to their 21st win of the season. It is Gigi Ezedima at the line for the Cardinals. So UIW is going to be on a 5-game losing streak heading in and a hobbled bunch going into Katy next week. Colton Cole leaves on senior day for ACU to an ovation from their fans.
And no doubt that he'll be making an impact next week in Katy, Texas for the Southland Conference Tournament. That is one of the best big men in the conference.
Hey, you could argue ACU has the best front court in the Southland. There's a lob in, there's Steele. Oh, he had it blocked. Denied inside. The Cardinals will figure out who their first round opponent will be Tuesday. Here's Ballantyne, and they hope to get Keaston Willis back for that. Morris couldn't grab it. Extra pass, Lutz for 3, no good. Tap down Morgan. We may just see a frenzy of 3-point attempts from both of these teams over the last minute 45 or so. Substitution timeout. as ACU brings out their seniors. Makai Morris, Reggie Miller take a seat for Abilene Christian.
And a lot of basketball IQ on this senior squad for Abilene Christian, something that they will certainly be missing next season. But Coach Golding is ready to go. He says that this team is excited for next year as well. But they have some work to finish off in Katy, Texas, he said next week.
Peyton Brooks, number 13. Hippler lobs it into the paint. It's Steele. He got it.
Nice assist there from Hippler to Steele, the senior to the freshman in the final minutes of the regular season.
Loose ball inside, extra pass, and Yoder cans one. Last 53 seconds of the season. Southeastern Louisiana, New Orleans tonight, a big one down there for the Lions and the Privateers. The Bayou at 7 o'clock. It's Richardson. No good. Yoder going to draw the foul. With 26 seconds to go tonight.
That's his third of the game, team foul number 10. That'll put the Cardinals in a double bonus for the remainder of the game. At the line, shooting 2, number 0, Charlie Yoder.
So Yoder going to the foul line for UIW. Rims out. Paul Hippler kisses center court on his way out. Final time in Abilene for the senior.
And the crowd appreciating yet another senior for this team, contributing to this team over the past 4 years. He brought the energy on the bench, and he brought
the perfect guy for that role.
Without a doubt.
No question. 10 seconds run off.
And certainly taking advantage of his time out on the court when he got the chance today.
What a season, partner. Had a lot of fun. Great work from our whole crew. Abilene Christian winners today and a chance at a top 2 seed now in Katy the rest of the way. Final scores: Abilene Christian 85 and Incarnate Word 60. This has been a presentation of the Southland Conference on ESPN. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. Until next time, Zach Carlisle, Owen Simpson, Coy Oslin, the whole crew saying so long, take care, good night from Abilene, Texas.